Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly Soundcheck, where we talk about what's been going on in the music community for the last week or so. Let's dive right in. So if you tuned in last week, we were talking about the rapper named Future and how he was trying to get 2 chart toppers with 2 different albums in 2 successive weeks, and it turns out that he did it with both of his albums, the self-titled and his album titled Hendrix is how I believe it's pronounced. Good for him. He'll go down in history as the first person to do this, although I am willing to bet that someone will do it again at some point, because that's just the way this world works as far as competition goes. But it's a pretty amazing feat. Chance the Rapper, who won the Grammy for Best Rap Album, is still making headlines. He recently made a $1 million donation to Chicago public schools. He recently met with the governor of Illinois, where they talked about public education and other issues affecting the Chicago area. And although things aren't going quite as planned for him as far as how he wanted things to go, he's still making efforts to raise awareness and raise funds for that project that he's working on. So good for him, great guy. The Gorillaz recently announced a new music festival called Demon Days. This is going to be the band's first performance in over 5 years, which is a pretty big deal. However, unfortunately for US fans, this is happening in Kent, England. So either you're going to have to spend a lot of money traveling or suck it up and just not go. But still pretty big news. They have an album coming out later this year, so this music festival will be a pretty big launch to that. Recently, Black Sabbath posted an image to their social channels that was just the band's logo with the years 1968 to 2017 written under it, signaling the end of the band. It does seem as though the band is calling it quits, but after a nearly 50-year run as a band, they do kind of deserve to just kind of relax and chill for a bit. However, even in an interview, Tony Iommi stated that they haven't even really talked about what was going to happen after this final tour that they did, so I'm not sure if that's just a clickbaity title or if they really are calling it quits, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Some pretty devastating news from the band Heart of a Coward, a metalcore band from overseas. Their vocalist Jamie Graham is leaving the band. This kind of sucks because I listened to their most recent album, Deliverance. It was damn near perfect to me as a metalcore album, so I'm sad to see him go. There was no specific reason given for why he was leaving, but I'm guessing it might be because their album didn't do quite as good as it should have. But again, just speculating. Hopefully they can find someone that's going to replace them who's as good or better, which is going to be hard for them to do. Last but certainly not least, of course I had to cover the album sales of Suicide Silence. If you're a metal fan, you know why this first week of their sales was kind of important. They completely changed a lot of their sound. There's been a big controversy over whether fans like it or not. The majority are kind of hating on it. I did an album review. You can go ahead and go check out my thoughts on it. But this album sold less than 5,000 copies the first week. Like 4,650 copies. That is a serious decline from their album before that, You Can't Stop Me, which had Eddie Hermida as the vocalist. So you can't blame a new singer for that demise. It is the sound, but the band and Eddie specifically are trying to blame the record industry, saying it's dying and all this other bullshit that is not true. It's because this album is not good, just face it. They just need to come to terms with that and move on. Born of Osiris, which is another metal band, re-released an album that came out like 10 years ago, and they almost outsold Suicide Silence's new album. That's how bad this was. So, not totally unexpected, but kind of comical. Kind of saw it coming, and we'll see where the band goes from here as far as their new direction as a band. Anyway guys, thanks for checking out the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. I made a 50 sub announcement on my channel last week. You can go check that out. Check out my album reviews. A new one came up today. And yeah, thanks for checking it out. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk some more music next week. Rock on.